It's called Two Comics and a Baby. Clap your hands, everybody, for Marlaina Schiavo. Marlaina Schiavo, everybody.
Yeah, guys. I couldn't get a babysitter. Do you think mommy can perform? Or do you think everybody's gonna be looking at you? You have a choke? No. I don't want you to touch us anyway. There's some really shady people been using this microphone tonight. My mother would say, "Don't touch that, that's caca." Or she'd say, "It's cocky, it's cocky." Which is a really good lesson for her early on. Do not put cocky near your mouth. Yeah? All right. I don't think this is gonna work. I think does anybody want to babysit for the next 30 minutes? Anybody? I'm gonna take that lady over there. You look like you've been in prison. See if we can do this. Hey, lady, hold this. I don't want this cock. Take her to the bar and just get her a rum and coke or something. Mama won't be that long. Thank you, random lady in the audience. Did anybody catch her name? No, that's my mom. Okay, let's get this party started. So, as you can see, I learned a very good lesson from having a baby, and I'm going to teach you all of it right now. The morning after pill is not an effective form of birth control. Just kidding. You know, a lot of people, trouble. You know, a lot of people, namely these people, were very nervous when they found out I was pregnant, and which I don't really understand why. I mean, I'm really, really great at being a mom. I never leave my baby unattended at happy hour. We share a bar stool. She's a great wingman. So yeah. I guess there was some trepidation. Before I got married, my mind it couldn't have been further, from having a baby. I remember driving in a car with my now husband, who wasn't my husband yet, and a bee flew in the car when we were driving, and I rolled down all the windows and I jumped in the back seat and, hope for the best. And when we pulled over, he goes, "You know what, Marlaina, you're not very good in a crisis." And he says, "One day you could be driving with a baby in the back seat and a bee flies in the car. What are you gonna do?" And my first thought was, how the fuck did a baby get in the back seat? My car has child-proof locks. Having a baby is a lot of responsibility. I breastfed for the first 5 months. Oh, not even one applause for that. Okay. You have to remember a lot. You have to make sure she's latching on. You have to make sure she's getting enough. You have to make sure there's no alcohol in the breast milk. Do you know how hard that is to remember after 6 martinis? We named our daughter Rebel. Pausing for reaction. You can tell in the first 5 seconds when people don't like her name. They're just like, "Oh, that's different." And another reaction I get is, "Red Bull? Are you saying Red Bull?" Yes, we named our daughter Red Bull. We thought about naming her 5 Hour Energy, but Red Bull had a better sound to it. No, I can't believe she's already 8 months. I mean, I can literally remember just finding out I was pregnant or taking a pregnancy test. The first time I took a pregnancy test, it came back negative, and I happened to be on vacation with my mom in Florida. And she was very frantic. She's like, did you pee on it? Let me tell you, peeing on it is the only step. I'm like, no, you know what? I didn't. I just waved it in front of my vagina like a key card, waiting for an alarm to go off. Not pregnant. Yes, I peed on it. When I took the pregnancy test that actually said I was pregnant, my mom was with me yet again here in New York. And she's like doing a dance of joy, and I laid face down on the floor and said, "Oh my God, my life is over." That's not a joke, that actually happened. But my life was not over, and I didn't really mean that. I mean, I just meant that, well, yeah, that's what I meant, but like, it was not over. I love being a mom, but I hated being pregnant, like hated it. And there's these women who absolutely love being pregnant. Is there any one of those women? Someone's pointing at you. Love being pregnant.
No, I don't. I just am pregnant.
Well, how do you feel?
Fine.
You feel fine. That sounds very positive. You know how I felt? Fat and sober. And I can tell you in one word what is so amazing about being fat and sober. Nothing. Not a damn thing. Yeah, and it does all kinds of crazy stuff to your body after you have the baby, as you can imagine. Like, I'm still deflating, and it's taking a really long time. And this area, my boobs, not so great. They don't look so good. They actually like fall into my armpit when I'm sleeping. You laugh. This is my life. Okay? And sometimes I wake up startled, in the middle of the night. I think there's a bug crawling on me, but no. No, not a bug, people. It's just my armpit stubble brushing up against my oversized, lifeless boob. I complain about my post-pregnancy body all the time to my husband, who, if there's anybody else who should be pissed off about it as much as me, it should be him, right? But no, he's like, "Oh, I love you no matter what your body looks like." And then he says, "Why don't we just go relax on a beach somewhere, And I'm like, such an insensitive prick. Like, I'm gonna get in a fucking bikini right now. Get your head out of your ball sack. Do you ever argue with someone in your dream and think it's real, and then you wake up pissed off? I do that to my husband on a weekly basis. I dream he did something wrong, and I wake up just all annoyed. He's like, "Hi." I'm like, "Fuck you." He's caught on by now. He's been with me long enough. He's like, "Oh." He's like, "Marlaina." He's like, "I can't help what I did in your dream. It's all in your head." I'm like, "Oh, it's all in my head now, huh?" And then a real argument ensues. Needless to say, he thinks I'm a little crazy. But he's wrong. I'm a lot crazy. Yeah. You have babies in Belgium? No, but it's a really crazy transition, going from being someone who worked full time to becoming a mom. Up until last summer, people would ask me, what I did for a living, and I would say, I'm a producer, because that's what I am. I'm a television producer. Now, people say, what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a producer. Well, I was a producer. I'm a reproducer. I don't fucking know. They're all true. They're all true. I kind of miss working from time to time. Just from time to time. The in-between is good. Because there's not a whole lot of freedom when you work. There's certain things you can't do. Like, I remember when I was working, and I was running into the office very quickly, and I threw on a baseball cap. There was a little rooster on the top of that hat, and underneath the rooster it said cock. And it was small lettering, and in my defense, it was a small cock. I'm the only man around here who would admit that. And no one really actually noticed, which was fine until I went to my boss's office. We were talking for 10 minutes, and when I was about to leave, he goes, Marlaina, I have to tell you something. And I said, what? He said, you cannot come to work with cock on your head. It's fucked up. I mean, now I can walk around with cock on my head all day long. I have another friend who stopped working as well to stay home with her kids. And she lives right through the tunnel in Hoboken. And I was so excited when I heard this, and I told my husband, and he said, great, does this mean we're moving to Hoboken? I was like, no. I said, it just means that now I have someone to drink with in the afternoons. No more drinking alone. Just kidding. But no, my friends make fun of me too. They're like, Marlaina, before you had a baby, you were like pretty anti-kids, And I was like, I'm not anti-having kids. I was anti-your kids. All of them. I have friends in the audience with kids. And right now they're like, she's not talking about my kids. And then they're like, is she talking about my kids? Bitch better not be talking about my fucking kids. Anyway, no, it really wasn't the kids that bothered me, honestly. It was more the moms and the way they spoke. They said stupid things like, oh, my son's getting so big. He just turned 26 months. 26 months? Is he 2? Is he 5? Why the fuck are you making me do math? What does 26 months mean? So he's 2 years into, whatever. I'm not gonna talk like that. But it's really scary, like bringing kids up. It's a scary thing. There's some crazy stories out there, like parents who run over their own kids with their cars, their SUVs. They back over them because the SUVs are high and they can't see behind them, and that's very scary. I have an SUV. And I cannot imagine the damage a toddler would do to the undercarriage of my car. I don't have insurance for that. So kids are a liability. No, but seriously, it is a scary world. I mean, look what's going on in the Ukraine. No, can someone tell me I haven't been following? That is the truth. But it's really scary the day that my daughter discovers the internet. Back in the day, parents used to have to keep their kids off of drugs. Now they have to keep their kids off the computer. We've gone from hash to hashtags. I love social media, but there are a lot of people who don't know how to use it properly. And, people just hashtag like crazy, like, they just stick, they just stick a pound sign in front of every word they're thinking. Okay? Every word. Like an example, maybe some of you have experienced this. Getting ready for my big ski weekend. Hashtag Hunter Mountain. Hashtag fun. Hashtag snow. Hashtag road trip. Hashtag skis. Hashtag hot chocolate. Hashtag lodge. You're laughing back there because you do it. Don't worry, I won't identify you. Everybody, that's my friend Jillian. Jillian, I'm sorry. You are a great friend, but you are a psychotic hashtagger. When I look at your Facebook page, I'm like, step away from the pound sign, Jillian. I'm sorry. I know you think this is a comedy show, but it's actually an intervention. On the count of 3, everybody say hello to Jillian. 1, 2, 3. Hello, Jillian. She's totally hashtagging right now. Right? She's like hashtag OMG. Hashtag Marlaina sucks. Hashtag comedy. Hashtag intervention. Hashtag 2 drink minimum. Hashtag candles. Hashtag boyfriend. Hashtag I'm not sorry. Let me just explain to you how it's done. I'll explain to you, all of you, how it's done. I am... What? You ready? This is your lesson. I'm stuck on the GW bridge. Hashtag Christy, you fat bastard. That's it. One subject. Christy, from my home state of New Jersey. Yeah, he's been vindicated and he's all in the clear, so he can run for president now. I actually think he's a very talented guy. He's the only guy I know who could be in Seaside Heights and Asbury Park at the same time and give a speech. 2 different zip codes, people. Chris Christie. He's a good guy. No, I actually was on a radio show, and they asked me if Chris Christie was gonna have a hard time with women voters. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, the only woman I know that Chris Christie has a hard time with is Jenny Craig. I know, I went there again. Can't help myself, it's the low-hanging fruit. Fruit being a food group he should seriously consider. Fat governor, New Jersey. Somebody catch them up. I don't know. Sorry. Local humor. Do you guys think if Hillary Clinton becomes president in 2016, she'll stick a cigar in her own vagina? Really? That got you? That's the one that was below the belt?
They love her.
What?
They love her.
Apparently. Whatevs. So I go to New Jersey a lot now with my baby, and my husband's working, so it's just me and Rebel and my parents, and I sleep in my purple bedroom, and I feel like a teen mom, which would be my dream, just to be on that show as an imposter. The 37-year-old teen mom. I'd be like, hey, hashtag, I'm pregnant, hashtag. I would love to send in an audition tape, but I clearly do not meet the requirements. I'm not a redneck. Katie was up here talking about teen moms. Katie. supposed to discuss our sets. No. But she didn't talk about Janelle. Oh, yes, there's Teen Moms. You know Teen Moms being canceled? BT dubs.
OMG.
See, I could totes be a teen. I could totes be, it's being canceled. Anyway, but for now, Janelle, who's my fave, she is a scary one. She's been in and out of jail and out of rehab. Her mom has custody of her child, and she finally now has this boyfriend for 2 months and has decided 2 months. That's the punchline? All right, okay, cool. And she decided that she's going to have a baby with this guy. Because that is a solid plan. So actually, she took a pregnancy test, and then she goes, and it comes back positive. And she goes to the doctor, they're like, you're not pregnant. So this is the conversation with her boyfriend. So it turns out my pregnancy test was a false positive. It was just picking up on the abortion that's still working its way through from her last boyfriend, who's in jail. Cortland. That is his name, Cortland. Very good. You win the trivia of the night, if there was a trivia contest. That girl's winning Teen Mom trivia. Yes. There's actually no punchline. I just love talking about Teen Mom. I do. Pregnancies, abortions, and so on. You can't write this. And that's why they call it unscripted television, people. Yeah. So, it's funny, though. These people are celebrities just for, getting knocked up and dropping out of school. I mean, I'm not a very starstruck person. My mom is, though. She's very starstruck, and she's always very disappointed when she's in New York and doesn't see a celebrity. But I'm not exactly convinced that she would know one if she did see one, because I told her that my husband went to go see the new Liam Neeson movie, and she goes, oh, is that the one with George Clooney? No, it's the one with Liam Neeson. Which one is he? Never mind. So I feel kind of responsible, though. I feel like now when she comes to New York, I have to find her a celebrity. So I've started combing the sex offender registry, trying to figure out where Woody Allen lives. Hillary and Woody fans all around. Sorry. Yeah. My mom says a lot of funny things, though. She gives good advice. She just doesn't word it properly all the time. I was driving in New Jersey, and a guy would not let me in. I could not get into this other lane, and he wouldn't let me in. So, of course, I gave him the finger. And turns out he was an undercover cop, an unmarked car, and he gave me 3 tickets. 3. So I'm complaining, and I'm like, I can't believe this. I can't believe I have 3 tickets. And she's like, well, Marlaina, you just can't go around fingering people. I'm like, you're not saying that right. No, I'm serious. You just can't go around fingering whoever you want to. It's going to get you in trouble. Technically, it's a good advice in 2 different ways, but she's not saying it right. Oop, that is my time. All right, well, thank you. You guys have been a great crowd.